Cole was alone on the moon called Seven. He had been alone for 3 weeks now. His job was simple. He collected rocks. He tested soil. He wrote reports that nobody would read for months. The pay was good and like the quiet. No people, no noise, just him and the empty gray landscape that stretched in every direction. His small base camp sat in a valley between two dead mountains. He had a sleeping pod, a food printer, and enough supplies to last 6 months. The company had dropped him here and would pick him up when his contract ended. Until then, was the only human being on this entire moon, maybe the only living thing at all. He was eating dinner when the sky caught fire. Dropped his food packet and ran outside. Something was falling through the thin atmosphere above him. It was a ship, but not like any ship he had ever seen. Human ships were blocky and practical. This thing was beautiful, all smooth curves and flowing lines, like someone had carved it from a single piece of silver metal. But it was burning. Flames poured from its side and pieces broke away as it screamed across the sky. The ship hit the ground 2 kilometers away. The impact shook the earth beneath its feet. A cloud of dust rose into the air like a dirty flower blooming in slow motion. Stood there for a long moment. His training told him to stay put, to report the crash and wait for instructions. But instructions would take hours to arrive, and whoever was in that ship might not have hours. He grabbed his emergency kit and started running. The wreckage was worse than he expected. The beautiful ship had torn itself apart on impact. Pieces of silver metal lay scattered across the gray soil like broken bones. Smoke rose from a dozen fires. The smell was strange, sweet and chemical, nothing like burning human ships. Found the first body near the main section of the hull. It was alien. He had never seen this species before. The body was humanoid with 2 arms and 2 legs, but the skin was pale violet and seemed to glow faintly from within. The eyes were too large, the fingers too long. The creature wore simple gray clothes stained with silver liquid. Silver blood, realized. The alien had bled silver. The creature was dead, checked for a pulse in several places but found nothing. He moved on. He found the second alien inside the broken ship. This one was alive, barely. It was smaller than the first, curled in a corner and shaking with fear. When it saw, it screamed. "Easy," said, holding up his hands. "I'm not going to hurt you." His translation device worked overtime, turning his words into sounds the alien might understand. After a moment, the creature stopped screaming. It pointed deeper into the wreckage with one trembling hand. "Please," the alien said, its voice running through the translator. "Please help her. She is dying." Pushed through the twisted metal and found her. She was different from the others. Her skin glowed brighter, a soft violet light that pulsed with her heartbeat. She wore armor made of white metal, covered in symbols and patterns that could not read. Her hair was like black silk, spread across the floor beneath her head. She was beautiful in a way that hurt to look at. She was also dying. A piece of the ship had crushed her legs. Silver blood pooled beneath her body, spreading slowly across the floor. Her breathing was shallow and weak. Her eyes were closed. Knelt beside her and checked her wounds. The damage was severe. Without proper medical care, she would bleed out within the hour. His emergency kit had bandages and basic medicine, but nothing designed for alien biology. He did not even know if human medicine would help her or kill her faster. The small alien appeared beside him. Up close, could see that it was terrified but trying to be brave. "Who is she?" asked. "She is Princess," the alien said, "third heir to the Illuminate throne, ruler of 11 star systems." The creature's voice broke. "She cannot die here, not like this." A princess. Had found a dying alien princess in the wreckage of her ship on an empty moon in the middle of nowhere. "What happened?" he asked. "Why did you crash?" "Assassins," the alien whispered. "They sabotaged our ship, put poison in her wounds so they would not heal. We fled here to hide, but—" The creature looked at the princess with grief in its large eyes. We did not flee far enough. Looked at his kit. Then he looked at the princess. Her glow was fading, her pulse was getting weaker. She had minutes, not hours. I can help her, said. The alien stared at him. You are human. Yes. Humans are. Your planet is classified as one of the most dangerous worlds in the galaxy. Your biology is toxic to most species. Your blood carries iron, a metal that poisons our kind. If you try to help her, you will kill her. Knew about the classification. Humanity's home planet was famous among the aliens, but not in a good way. Earth was a nightmare to them. A world of earthquakes and hurricanes, of predators and diseases, of radiation and violence. Humans had evolved to survive all of it, which made them terrifying to species from gentler worlds. But right now, none of that mattered. She is dying anyway, said. Without blood, she has no chance. With my blood, she might have a small chance. A small chance is better than no chance. The alien shook its head. The iron in your blood will poison her. The proteins will attack her organs. Your antibodies will tear her apart from the inside. Maybe, said, or maybe my blood will fight the poison in her wounds. Maybe the same things that make human blood dangerous will make it useful. I do not know, but I know that doing nothing means she dies for certain. He pulled a knife from his kit. Then he pulled an emergency syringe, the kind used for field transfusions when proper equipment was not available. What is your name? Asked the alien. The creature said, I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Looked at the princess. Looked at the silver blood spreading across the floor. Looked at with his knife and his syringe and his strange human eyes. The old laws say that if you save her, you will be bound to her forever, said quietly. Your fates will be linked. Is that something you are willing to accept? Did not understand what that meant. He did not care. All he saw was a woman dying in front of him, and he had the power to try to save her. Yes, he said. He cut his arm. Dark red blood welled up from the wound, the color of rust, the color of iron, the color of earth. Looked away as filled the syringe. Forgive me, princess, whispered. He pushed the needle into her arm and pressed the plunger down. The princess's body went rigid. Her eyes flew open, burning with violet light. She screamed once, a sound of pure agony that echoed through the broken ship. Then she went still. Began to cry. Sat back and watched the princess's chest rise and fall. She was still breathing. Her heart was still beating. Now all he could do was wait and see if his blood would save her or destroy her. The first night was the worst. Carried the princess back to his base camp. It was not easy. She was taller than him, and the gravity on 7 was just strong enough to make every step difficult. Tried to help, but the small alien was weak from the crash and could barely walk without stumbling. They made it back as the sun set behind the dead mountains. Placed the princess on his sleeping pod, the only soft surface in the camp. Her violet glow had faded to almost nothing. Her skin was cold to the touch. But she was breathing and her heart was beating, and that was all could ask for. She is dying, said. The alien sat in the corner of the small shelter, hugging its knees to its chest. I can feel it, the bond between servant and royal. I can feel her life slipping away. Checked the princess's pulse again. It was weak but steady. She is not dead yet. The iron in your blood is spreading through her body. It is poison to us, pure poison. Her organs are failing one by one. His voice was flat, empty of hope. You tried to save her, human. I will tell the others that you tried, but she will not survive the night. Did not answer. He was too busy checking his emergency kit for anything else that might help. He found pain medicine, but he did not know if it would work on her species. He found bandages, but her wounds had already stopped bleeding. He found water, but she was not awake to drink it. All he could do was wait. The night was long and cold. Sat beside the princess and watched her face for any sign of change. Sometimes she would twitch, her fingers curling into fists. Sometimes she would make small sounds of pain. Once, she opened her eyes and looked directly at him, but there was no understanding in her gaze. She was lost in fever, fighting a battle inside her own body. Told everything while they waited. The Illuminate Empire was one of the oldest civilizations in the galaxy. They had been traveling between stars when humans were still living in caves. Their technology was advanced beyond anything humanity had achieved. Their culture was ancient and complex, filled with traditions and laws that had survived for thousands of years. Princess was the third child of the Illuminate Emperor. She was not expected to rule. Her older siblings held that honor, but she was loved by her people for her kindness and her wisdom. She had spoken out against corruption in the royal court. She had pushed for reforms that would help the common people. She had made enemies. The assassins came from within our own government, explained. Nobles who feared her influence. They sabotaged her ship during a routine journey. The poison they used was ancient and cruel. It prevents healing. Any wound, no matter how small, becomes fatal. There is no cure. Except maybe human blood, said. Shook its head. Human blood is not a cure. It is a different kind of poison. You have replaced one death with another. But was not so sure. He remembered what he had learned about human biology during his training. Human blood was unique in the galaxy. It carried iron, which most species found toxic. But that iron also carried oxygen more efficiently than any other known system. Human blood was aggressive, filled with white cells that attacked anything foreign. Human antibodies were ruthless, destroying invaders without mercy. On Earth, these traits helped humans survive a world that wanted them dead. Diseases, parasites, infections, the human body fought them all with savage determination. What would happen when that same savage determination met alien poison? Did not know. Nobody knew. No human had ever given blood to an Illuminate before. The species avoided each other. The galaxy considered humans too dangerous to approach. The night passed slowly, dozed in his chair, waking every few minutes to check on the princess. Each time she was still breathing. Each time her heart was still beating. Each time looked at him with confusion and growing wonder. She should be dead by now, said as the sun began to rise. The poison should have killed her hours ago. Looked at the princess. Her skin was still pale, but something had changed. Her glow was returning, faint but visible. Her breathing was stronger. Her face was no longer twisted in pain. Check her wounds, said. Moved to the princess's side and carefully unwrapped the bandages around her legs. What they found made the alien gasp. The wounds were healing. Not just closing, not just scabbing over. The flesh was knitting itself back together at a speed that should have been impossible. Muscles reconnected. Skin grew over exposed bone. The damage that should have killed her was disappearing before their eyes. This is impossible, whispered. The poison prevents healing. That is its purpose. That is why it is so deadly. Understood what had happened. His blood had not just fought the poison. It had destroyed it. His human antibodies, designed to kill anything foreign in his body, had treated the alien poison as just another infection. They had attacked it with the same ruthless efficiency they used against diseases on Earth. His blood had not poisoned the princess. It had saved her. The iron, said, still staring at the healing wounds. The iron in your blood, it is bonding with her cells. It is making them stronger, faster, more resilient. The alien looked at with new eyes. What are you people? We are human, said simply. The princess slept for another day. Her body was changing, adapting to the foreign blood that now ran through her veins. Her glow grew brighter. Her skin grew warmer. Her heartbeat grew stronger. On the third day, she opened her eyes. Was there when it happened. He had not left her side. He watched as her eyes focused, as understanding returned to her face, as she realized she was alive when she should have been dead. Where am I? She asked. Her voice was rough from disuse. You are safe, said. You crashed on 7, I found you in the wreckage. The princess tried to sit up. Her body was weak, but it was recovering quickly. She looked at her hands, turning them over in the dim light of the shelter. I feel different, she said. I feel warm. I have never felt warm before. That is the human blood, said from the corner. He gave you his blood to save your life. It should have killed you, but instead it saved me, the princess finished. She looked at with curiosity and something else, something deeper. You are human. Yes. Your blood is toxic to my species. So I was told. But you gave it to me anyway. Shrugged, you were dying. I had to try something. The princess stared at him for a long moment. Then she did something unexpected. She smiled. What is your name, human? Cole. Cole, she repeated, testing the sounds. By the old laws of my people, you have given me life when I should have known death. Your blood runs in my veins. We are now bound together. You and I, our fates are linked until the stars grow cold. Did not know what to say. He had just wanted to help. He had not expected ancient alien laws to get involved. I just wanted to save your life, he said. The princess reached out and took his hand. Her grip was stronger than it should have been. Her skin was warmer than before. And you did, she said. Now let me tell you what that means. The days that followed changed everything thought he knew about the galaxy. Princess recovered faster than anyone expected. Within 2 days she could walk. Within 3 she could run. Her body had absorbed the human blood and made it part of itself. She was stronger now, faster. Her senses were sharper. Her mind was clearer. The same iron that should have poisoned her was now feeding her cells with oxygen in ways her species had never experienced. She was becoming something new, something that had never existed before. Contacted the Illuminate emergency frequency on the 4th day. It was a risk. The assassins might be listening. The same people who had tried to kill might track the signal and finish what they started. But the princess needed her people to know she was alive. The response came within hours. They do not believe us, said, its face pale with shock. The royal physicians say what we describe is impossible. They say human blood would have killed her within minutes. They think I am lying or mad. Took the communication device from his hands. This is Princess, she said, her voice strong and clear. I am alive. I am on the moon called 7. A human named Cole saved my life with a blood transfusion. I understand this should be impossible. I understand your doubt. But I am speaking to you now and I am asking you to send ships. There are traitors in our government. They tried to kill me. They failed. Silence on the other end. Then a voice did not recognize spoke. Your Highness, even if you are who you claim to be, a human blood transfusion would cause catastrophic organ failure. The iron alone would destroy your nervous system. The proteins would trigger a fatal immune response. What you describe cannot have happened. And yet it did, said. Send your ships, send your physicians, let them examine me themselves. But know this, I am alive because a human chose to help me when no one else could. I will not forget that, neither should you. The communication ended, looked at with something like fear in its large eyes. You have done something impossible, said. When the fleet arrives, when the physicians examine her, they will want to understand how. They will want to study you. Had not considered that. He had acted without thinking, giving his blood to save a stranger. He had not planned for what would come after. Saw the worry on his face. Do not fear, Cole. You are under my protection now. No one will study you without your permission. No one will harm you. This I promise. I appreciate that, said. But I still do not understand what I did. I just gave you blood. How did it save you? Sat down across from him. Her glow was brighter than before, strong and steady like a heartbeat made visible. She moved with new grace, new power. The blood had changed her in ways that were still revealing themselves. Let me explain what human blood means to my people, she said. Your species evolved on a world we call A planet so dangerous that most forms of life would die within hours of arriving there. Earthquakes, hurricanes, predators, diseases. Your world is constantly trying to kill everything on it. Earth is not that bad, said. Smiled. To you, perhaps, you were born there, you adapted. Your ancestors fought for survival every single day for millions of years, and that fight changed you. Your bodies became weapons against death itself. She held up her hand. Her skin glowed brighter as she focused. Your blood carries iron. To us, iron is poison. We evolved on gentle worlds where iron was rare and dangerous, but you evolved to need it. Your blood uses iron to carry oxygen throughout your body. This makes you strong. This makes you last longer. This makes you dangerous. And that iron is now in your blood, said. Yes, and it is making me stronger too. My cells are learning to use it. My body is adapting, closed her hand into a fist. But that is not all your blood gave me. Your blood carries soldiers. Soldiers. Your white blood cells, your antibodies, they fight. They attack. They destroy anything they see as a threat. On your world, this keeps you alive against countless diseases and parasites. In my body, they attacked the poison that was killing me. Remembered what it said about the poison. It was ancient. It prevented healing. Any wound became fatal because the body could not repair itself. The poison was a threat, said, understanding now. So my antibodies destroyed it. Exactly. Your blood did not see the poison as something special or ancient or unbeatable. It saw it as just another enemy to kill, and it killed it, leaned forward. Do you understand what this means? Your species carries the cure for things we thought were. Your blood can fight battles that ours cannot. You are not just. You are survivors, fighters, warriors at the cellular level. Sat back in his chair. He had never thought of himself as special. He was just a guy who collected rocks on empty moons. He had no military training. He had never been in a fight. He was nobody important. But his blood was important. His blood had saved a princess and changed her forever. The galaxy does not know this yet, continued. They think humans are dangerous because you might attack them. They do not realize you are valuable because you might save them. When my people learn what you did for me, everything will change. Change how? Humans will no longer be classified as threats to avoid. You will be seen as allies to seek. Your blood, your biology, your survival instincts will become the most valuable resources in known space. Met his eyes. You did not just save my life, Cole. You may have changed the future of your entire species. Did not know what to say. He had come to Seven to be alone, to work his job and earn his pay and live his quiet life. Now he was at the center of something huge, something he did not fully understand. I did not plan for any of this, he said finally. Reached out and touched his hand. Her skin was warm now, warmer than before, running hot with human iron and human strength. No, she said, but you did it anyway. You acted when others would have watched. You gave when others would have kept. You risked when others would have stayed safe. Her grip tightened. That is what makes you human. That is what makes you special, not your blood alone, your heart. Behind them cleared its throat. The fleet has responded, said. They are sending ships, 40 warships. They will arrive in 6 days. Stood, and for the first time she looked like a princess, like a ruler, like someone who commanded 11 star systems. Then we have 6 days to prepare, she said. When my people arrive, they will find their princess alive and well, and they will find the human who saved her standing at her side. She looked at with fire in her eyes. They will learn what it can do. The Illuminate fleet arrived on the 6th day, and had never seen anything so terrifying in his life. 40 warships hung in the sky above Seven. Each one was the size of a small city, covered in weapons that could destroy entire planets. They blocked out the sun, casting shadows across the gray landscape like giants standing over ants. Had seen human military ships before. They were impressive. These were something else entirely. "Do not be afraid," said. She stood beside him outside the base camp watching the ships descend. "They are here to protect me, and by extension to protect you." "I am not afraid," lied. Smiled, she knew he was lying, but she did not say anything. The first shuttle landed 100 meters away. It was sleek and beautiful, like everything the Illuminate built. The doors opened, and soldiers poured out. They wore white armor that glowed with the same violet light as skin. They carried weapons did not recognize. They moved with perfect discipline, surrounding the area in seconds. Then came the officials, tall aliens in flowing robes, their faces stern and serious. They looked at with suspicion and fear. To them, he was a monster from a nightmare planet. They did not understand why their princess was standing next to him instead of running away. Finally, a single figure emerged from the shuttle, an old alien with pale skin and tired eyes. He wore simple clothes, no armor, no weapons. But the way everyone moved aside for him made it clear he was important. "Lord Physician," whispered two, "the greatest healer in the Illuminate Empire. He has served the royal family for centuries." Walked slowly toward. His eyes scanned her from head to toe, taking in every detail. The stronger glow of her skin, the new warmth in her movements, the way she stood taller, more confident than before. "Your Highness," said, "you should be dead." "So everyone keeps telling me," replied. "The poison used against you has no cure. The human blood should have accelerated your death, not reversed it." Stepped closer, studying her face. "And yet here you stand, not just alive, but changed, improved. This should not be possible." "The human body contains miracles we did not know existed," said. "Their blood fought the poison when ours could not. Their cells shared their strength with mine. I am proof that everything we believed about was wrong." Turned his attention to. The old physician walked around him slowly, examining him like a scientist examining a specimen. "You are the human who gave her blood." "Yes," said. He did not like being stared at, but he stood his ground. "Why? You knew it could kill her. You knew our species consider your biology toxic. Why would you take such a risk?" "Because she was dying," said simply. "Because I could not just watch and do nothing. Because trying something was better than doing nothing." Was quiet for a long moment. Then he did something unexpected. He bowed. "On behalf of the Illuminate Empire, I thank you, Cole. You have saved our princess when we could not. You have shown us something new about the universe. We are in your debt." The soldiers around them shifted uncomfortably. They were not used to seeing their greatest physician bow to anyone, especially not to a human. Over the next 3 days, news of what happened on 7 spread across the galaxy. The assassins were caught within hours of the fleet's arrival. They had not expected to survive. They had not prepared for her return. When the evidence of their plot was revealed, the people of the Illuminate Empire demanded justice. The traitors were arrested and put on trial. The coup they had planned collapsed before it could begin. But that was only part of the story. The bigger story was the human, the who had done the impossible. Scientists from every corner of the galaxy demanded to know how human blood had saved an Illuminate princess. Medical researchers began studying everything they could find about human biology. Theories spread like wildfire. Some said humans were actually advanced beings pretending to be primitive. Others said Earth was a secret laboratory where the universe had created the ultimate survivors. A few suggested that humans might be the cure to diseases that had killed trillions across the ages. The truth was simpler and more amazing. Humans were just humans. They had evolved on a hard world and become hard themselves. Their blood was aggressive because it had to be. Their bodies were strong because weakness meant death. They were not special by design. They were special because they had refused to die. This changed how the galaxy saw humanity. Before, humans had been classified as dangerous. Species avoided contact with them. Trade was limited. Diplomacy was rare. Humanity existed on the edges of galactic civilization, alone and isolated. Now everything was different. The Illuminate Empire officially declared humans allies and friends. Other species began reaching out, curious about what else human biology might offer. Scientists requested permission to study human medicine, human diseases, human adaptations. Humanity, it seemed, had suddenly become very popular. Watched all of this happen from the deck of an Illuminate warship heading back to the capital. He still did not understand how his simple act had caused such a huge reaction. He had just given blood. He had just tried to help. "You look troubled," said. She found him standing alone, staring out at the stars rushing past. "I am trying to understand what is happening," admitted. "A month ago I was nobody. I collected rocks. I wrote reports. Now I am on an alien warship and the whole galaxy is talking about me. Does that frighten you?" "Thought about it, a little. I did not ask for any of this." Moved to stand beside him. She was taller than him, stronger than him, a princess of an empire that spanned 11 star systems. But she looked at him as an equal. "None of us ask for the moments that define us," she said. "We simply meet them or we do not. You met yours, Cole. You acted when action was needed. You gave when giving was hard. That is not nothing. That is everything." "What happens now?" "Now we return to my home. I will take my place at my father's side and deal with the traitors who tried to kill me. And you," she paused, a small smile on her lips, "you will decide what you want your life to be." "What do you mean?" "The life debt binds us, but it does not make you my prisoner. You can stay with me and be honored as the hero who saved my life, or you can return to your moon and your rocks and your quiet existence. The choice is yours." Looked out at the stars. A month ago they had seemed so far away, so unreachable. Now he was sailing among them on an alien ship, and the future was suddenly full of possibilities he had never imagined. "Can I think about it?" he asked. "Take all the time you need," said. She left him alone with the stars and his thoughts. Behind him, the fleet flew onward toward the heart of an empire that was about to change forever. And somewhere in the distance, Earth spun quietly around its sun, unaware that one of its children had just changed the course of galactic history. 1 year had passed since the crash on Seven. Stood in the Hall of Illumination, the most important room in the most important building in the entire Illuminate Empire. The ceiling rose so high above him that clouds formed in the upper reaches. The walls were covered in crystals that glowed with soft light, each one representing a star system under Illuminate rule. Thousands of aliens filled the space, dressed in their finest clothes, speaking in dozens of languages that his translator struggled to keep up with. He was wearing clothes that cost more than his old survey ship. The fabric was silk from a planet 3,000 light-years away. The buttons were made from gems found only in the cores of dying stars. Had helped him dress that morning and had cried while doing it. "You look like a prince," had said. "I feel like an idiot," had replied. But he did not feel like an idiot now. Now, standing in this hall, surrounded by the rulers and nobles of a dozen species, he felt something else. He felt like he belonged. The crowd fell silent as entered. She was no longer a princess. 3 months ago, her father had abdicated the throne in her favor. The old emperor had been weak during the coup attempt. He had not seen the traitors in his own court. He had nearly lost his daughter to their schemes. When the truth came out, he stepped aside and let take his place. She was empress now, ruler of 11 star systems, commander of the greatest fleet in known space, and she walked through the Hall of Illumination like she had been born for this moment. Which supposed she had. Took her place on the throne, a chair carved from a single massive crystal that pulsed with her violet light. The crowd bowed with them. When they rose, was looking directly at him. "Today we gather to discuss a matter of great importance," she announced. Her voice carried through the hall without effort, amplified by technology, did not understand. The status of humanity in the Galactic Concord. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. The Galactic Concord was the alliance of species that governed most of known space. Hundreds of worlds, thousands of civilizations, all working together under a shared set of laws and agreements. Humanity had never been part of it. They were too new, too primitive, too dangerous. Until now. For generations, humans have been classified as a species, continued. Dangerous, unpredictable, to be avoided at all costs. This classification has kept them isolated from the rest of galactic civilization. It has them the benefits of our technology, our trade, our friendship. She stood from her throne and walked down the steps toward the assembly. Her gown flowed behind her like liquid light. 1 year ago I was dying. Assassins had poisoned me with a compound designed to prevent healing. Every physician in my empire told me there was no cure. I should have died on a forgotten moon, alone and afraid. She stopped walking. But I did not die, because a human found me, because a human gave me his blood, because a human refused to accept that nothing could be done. She turned and gestured toward. Every eye in the hall followed her movement. Cole saved my life with nothing but courage and compassion. His blood, which should have killed me, instead fought the poison in my body. It destroyed what our medicine could not touch. It gave me strength I did not know was possible. Raised her chin. The humans are not dangerous because they might hurt us. They are valuable because they might save us. The hall erupted in whispers and arguments. Saw aliens pointing at him, some with fear, some with curiosity, some with something that might have been hope. Therefore, announced over the noise, I move that humanity be granted full membership in the Galactic Concord. They will have all the rights and responsibilities of any other species. They will be our allies, our partners, our friends. She looked across the assembled leaders. Any who object may take the matter up with me personally. Silence. Nobody spoke. Nobody moved. The Empress who carried blood in her veins was not someone anyone wanted to challenge. After a long moment, one of the senior members of the Concord raised his hand. He was ancient, with gray skin and eyes that had seen centuries pass. The motion is accepted, he said. Humanity is hereby granted full membership in the Galactic Concord. The hall exploded in noise. Some cheered, some argued, some simply stared in disbelief. But it was done. With a single announcement had changed humanity's place in the universe. Later that night, found himself on a balcony overlooking the capital city. The buildings stretched to the horizon, towers of crystal and light that made human cities look like mud huts in comparison. Ships flew between the towers, carrying millions of people about their daily lives. He heard footsteps behind him and knew who it was without looking. You look troubled, said. You keep saying that. Because you keep being troubled. She moved to stand beside him at the railing. Up close, he could see how much she had changed over the past year. Her skin glowed brighter. Her movements were stronger. She was still illuminate, but she was also something else now, something touched by humanity. I just gave you a blood transfusion, said. I did not mean to change the galaxy. Laughed. It was a warm sound, genuine and free. She laughed more now than she used to. Another change the blood had brought. That is what humans do, she said. You survive, you fight. You change everything you touch, you cannot help it. It is who you are. I was just a guy who collected rocks. And now you are the man who saved an empress and gave humanity the stars. Leaned against the railing, looking out at her city. The galaxy feared your kind before they knew you. Now they will learn the truth. What truth? She turned to face him. Her eyes held a light that was new, fierce, alive. The same light he had seen when she first woke up on 7. That are not to be feared, she said. They are to be treasured. Did not know what to say. He had never been treasured before. He had never been special. He had spent his whole life being ordinary, doing ordinary things, living an ordinary existence. But standing here, on a balcony on an alien world, looking at an empress who carried his blood in her veins, he realized something. Maybe ordinary people were exactly what the galaxy needed. Not heroes with special powers, not chosen ones with destiny on their side, just regular people who saw something wrong and tried to fix it, people who gave what they had even when it was not enough, people who refused to accept that some problems could not be solved. "What happens now?" he asked. Smiled. "Now we build something new. Humans and Illuminate working together. Your strength and our knowledge. Your persistence and our wisdom. We will show the galaxy what is possible when and become friends." She held out her hand. Looked at it. 1 year ago he would have been afraid to touch her. She was alien, she was royalty, she was everything he was not. Now he took her hand without hesitation. "Partners," she said. "Partners," he agreed. In the Hall of Illumination, humanity's flag rose beside the banners of 1,000 species. In medical laboratories across the galaxy, scientists began studying human biology with new respect. On Earth, news arrived that their children were no longer alone among the stars. And on a balcony overlooking an alien city, a former rock collector and an empress stood side by side, looking up at a future full of possibilities. Cole had given his blood to save a dying princess. The outcome had shocked everyone. But it was only the beginning.